So in this video, we're going to be talking about Russian cases because they are arguably the most difficult part of learning Russian, because you need to learn a combination of noun and adjective in 6 different cases for singular and plural. So there's basically over 100 different combination of stuff, and you not only need to be able to correctly remember them, you need to be able to correctly remember them while having a conversation, and it makes it very difficult. А сейчас я уже 5 лет учу русский язык и могу сказать, что практически владею русской грамматикой и больше не ошибаюсь в русских падежах. Давайте начнем с видео. So the first tip is basically a little hack to sound more fluent than you actually are, and that is to simply swallow the endings while you're speaking. Let me give you an example with this. For example, I want to say, I bought flowers for my grandma. Я купил бабушке цветы. Like, I bought for my grandma flowers. If I'm not completely sure that I should use the dative case here, and like, okay, I'm not completely sure, and for example, I make a mistake and I accidentally say the genitive case and I say, я купил бабушке цветы. If I would say it a little bit more quickly and not completely emphasize the ending of the word бабушка, я купил бабушке цветы. Did you hear whether I said бабушки or бабушке? I said something in between, I suppose. But the thing is that if you do this, you will just sound a lot more fluent because, first of all, you might think, okay, this is a cheat. I don't want to use cheats. I want to speak only correct Russian all the time. I don't want to use these shortcuts, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, Russian people do this as well. So this actually accomplishes 2 things. First of all, it will make you sound more like a native speaker because you will speak more dynamically, fluently like Russian people do. And the second thing is that people will not notice if you make mistakes because you kind of muffle them away a little bit. And the thing is that the context will make it very clear what you mean anyway. If you bought flowers for your grandma or of your grandma, you know, the context will make it clear you most likely bought them for your grandma. And if someone doesn't get it, they'll ask you what exactly you meant, and then you can explain it anyway. So the second tip is that you should learn each case one by one. And what I mean by that is start with the most simple case. Then once you get that for about 80%, focus on the next case. Once you understand that for most part, like another 80%, go on to the next case and do that till you know all the 6 cases, more or less, most of the time. I would recommend you start with the nominative case, then the prepositional case, then the accusative case, then the genitive case, then the dative case, and then the instrumental case. That's approximately, that's a good way to follow them. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you're, for example, learning the dative case and the genitive case at the same time, then at a certain point, you might confuse stuff, and because since you're learning stuff at the same time, you might think, oh wait, бабушки, was it genitive or dative? Like, oh, I think it was dative. Oh no, it's actually genitive. And if you don't do that, like you focus on learning the main part of each case one by one, you will have a lot less chances of confusing cases through each other. And another benefit is that if you focus on something, it will be a lot easier to learn it faster because focus is the way that we learn very well. And if you try to learn all the 6 cases at the same time, it will take you longer in order to learn them well than if you would take one case, one case, one case, one case, one case. You will learn them all a lot faster. If you're looking for a guided step-by-step program to learn all the cases, check out link in the description for my 30-day conversational Russian challenge, which will give you a 30-day program to learn not only the cases, but also a lot of vocabulary and actually get a lot of speaking and listening practice at the same time. The third step to actually learn the Russian cases well is to write them down. This is especially important for people that, you know, like me, prefer to learn by listening to audio courses, watching series, using apps, and just basically by, you know, taking a practical speaking-based approach to learning Russian. Because people that go to classes tend to write more. But I did not write a lot in the beginning, and at a certain point I figured out that, hey, in order to learn the cases better, I probably should do some writing. And here's a simple exercise, for example. Let's assume you're learning the genitive case. Don't watch my handwriting because it's horrible, but basically it says here, nominative, you write down basically a couple of words, adjective plus the noun. Like here it says новый дом, there's a старая книга. Try to use a couple different like masculine, feminine. They put like genitive singular, genitive plural, and you just think by yourself, новый дом. What is that in the genitive singular? And you write down нового дома. What's that in the genitive plural? Новых домов. Then старая книга. In the genitive singular, you write down старой книги. In genitive plural, you write down старых книг. Instead of just listening or just looking at something, you actually use your fine motor complex skills. I think that's the right term to use it. And there's been a lot of studies that have been done that people that take notes by writing it down remember it way better than people that even typed it. So you want to use as much, like if you're writing something down, you're looking at it, you're thinking about it, plus you use like your hand to do stuff. And this is a very much underrated way to really drive stuff down into your memory. So the fourth tip in order to really get the cases down is to get input from multiple sources. What I mean by that is, for example, in the beginning, there are basically two good ways in order to understand the cases. That is by audio courses or by going to classes. Both are good. And the reason for that is because you want a person to explain to you approximately, and either it's pre-recorded or it's in real life, because basically only by having listening to a person speak, you get first the nuances of the case. Second, you get examples, which are very important in order to, put context around the case. And third of all, you get the emphasis on which parts of the case are important to learn in the beginning and which parts are better to, put off for later, and which parts are kind of not important at all. If you just read something or if you just do any other way, basically, then it will not have all those three things. But once you've done either audio courses or through real life classes, and you don't completely get, for example, the instrumental case, how it works, you already know quite a bit since you've, listened to your main way in order. But what I want you to do now is just go to Google, search for Russian instrumental case, open up a couple of sites, see how they explain it, and maybe they give a couple of different examples, or just put it in a different way, like a different angle of explaining the case, and you think, oh, makes sense. Then go to YouTube, look for a couple of videos, just type in Russian instrumental case, and then watch a couple of videos about that. In total, this will not take a long time because, watch a couple of videos of 5 to 10 minutes, read a couple of sites, 5 to 10 minutes. If you do that for 3 and 3, it's like half an hour till an hour. And the different angles that everyone explains it, together with your main angle, how you learned it in courses, will make it so that the entire puzzle of the Russian instrumental case will be much more complete in your mind. So the fifth final tip in order to really master the Russian cases is to use them while speaking, to put specific emphasis on them while speaking. Because often you see that people, they either are basically in two camps. First of all, you get the people that want to say everything completely perfectly, and this will make sure that they speak super slowly, super boringly, and never get to a real conversational level. And then you get the people that focus just on speaking, and they don't care about all the grammar and stuff. They just want to speak as fast as possible. And you kind of want to avoid both extremes. You want to be in the middle. You want to speak with consideration for grammar, but you also want to try to speak relatively fast. And the way to do this best is take the approach of, speak, because that works very well. But if you're learning, at the moment that you're learning, for example, the accusative case, try to put specific focus on having when you're saying the accusative case, to say it correctly. So instead of trying to say everything correctly, try to, while speaking, while have a conversation, put a little bit more effort, keep the accusative case in the back of your mind, and try to say that one specifically well. Спасибо большое за просмотр. Я надеюсь, вы узнали что-то новое сегодня. И увидимся в следующем видео. Пока!